Good afternoon, Miss Principal. My name is Elias Mendoza, your school librarian, and on behalf of the Library Committee, I would like to present to you Gifted Learners in Focus, a year-long library enrichment program in which we are seeking your supports. Here's a brief overview of the things we're going to review today. We're going to look at our target audience. We're going to define the program. We're going to look at data collection and library advocacy. We're going to look at our requested budget. We're going to look at the rationale and support behind our decisions. And lastly, we'll end with our references for our research articles. So as you can see here, our targeted audience is gifted and talented students. This program is designed with our gifted and talented students in mind. We know that these are learners who consistently show strong drive to learn, they think creatively, and they engage with complex ideas. They benefit from opportunities that go beyond the typical classroom experience. So some of our reasoning behind choosing this subset of students is, one, they are historically underserved. Teachers often have difficulty differentiating for accelerated learners, and this leads to GT students often becoming disengaged and underachieving. We know that GT learners thrive with enrichment, so they benefit from opportunities that give them autonomy, provide them with enrichment and a challenge. GT students have the potential to be innovators and leaders, and early investment with programs like this will benefit the whole school community. And lastly, the library is the ideal setting that affords students these opportunities to be self-directed, to explore, to be creative and problem solve with these opportunities. And we've got this information from Jung et al. 2022. So the theme for this year's Gifted Learners in Focus program is going to be innovation in action. And you're going to see through all of our objectives, innovation is tied in. So our first objective is to spark curiosity by exploring real-world innovations through books, research, and hand-on projects. Two, we're going to challenge students to think critically, creatively, and they're going to improve existing technologies. Our third objective is to strengthen students' research and presentation skills through guided inquiry. Four, we're going to give students opportunities to collaborate, share, and work together. Five, we're going to build confidence in our students speaking, writing, and presenting to different audience. And last, number six, we're going to highlight the school library as a space where innovative thinking and learning come to life. So going with our theme of innovation in action, here's our year-long implementation plan. Starting in the fall, we're going to begin number one in August. We're going to begin with launch with literature. And this is strictly to get the students invested, to build excitement. We're going to start by reading A Rover Story by Jasmine Warga. This is going to, again, inspire interest in technology. It's going to set the tone for innovation in action. Two, in September, we have two different virtual NASA scientist guest visits. Here's going to provide students, again, one, it's going to build excitement, but two, it's going to give them the opportunity to learn from real innovators working in science and engineering fields. Three, in October, that's when we're going to begin with our research skills mini lessons. We're going to teach how do students ask good questions, how do we cite sources, and how do we organize our notes. And specifically, we're going to tie it into the Big Six, which we're already using. In November, Innovators and Innovations Unit. This is where each student is going to select an innovation to research. They're going to look at its history, its purpose, its impact, and this is going to continue into December because November and December are so short. Looking at our spring semester, we go over to January, and that's when we begin our innovation challenge. Students are going to identify a weakness or a limitation in their chosen innovation, and then they brainstorm and then they improve on it. In February, that's when we begin our design thinking workshops. We're going to use simplified design thinking steps to guide students on how to improve their ideas. In March, we're going to create and communicate. This is where students build a visual or a digital prototype of their presentation to feature their improvement. And all of this work builds to our culminating activity in April. And we're going to tie this in with our Literacy and Innovation Night. Students are going to showcase their improved innovations to families in the school community and the library. And 10 as a little reward and kind of to cap off our year-long program, we're going to take a university field trip, specifically go to our local university to explore real-world innovation and design in action with their engineering programs and their labs. So to accomplish this year-long program, we're going to request a budget of $1,000, and we wanted to share that breakdown with you. $360 of the money is going to cover the 30 copies of a Rover's story, and it's also going to cover all the printed research resources needed for specifically for this innovation program with GT students. $200 is going to be allocated for honorariums for our 2 NASA STEM related speakers. $200 additional will be for materials for student innovation projects, their sketchbooks, the basic craft supplies, basic tools. That will cover all that. $140 will be allocated for the Literacy and Innovation Night, purchasing the display board, certificates, and promotional items. And last, $100 of the budget will be allocated for transportation for our university visit. So now it's time for data collection, measuring impact, and how does this tie in with our library advocacy? How this program strengthens gifted students and their connection to the library. So first of all, our first data capture will be a student voice surveys. We want to look at pre, mid, and post program. And these surveys are going to feature reflective prompts. The questions will be coded for themes. We'll be looking for confidence. We'll be looking at their academic risk-taking, etc. And we'll be looking at pre, mid, and post. Our data capture number 2, I thought it would be innovative to use our library usage heat map. So we would begin by providing students with a blank map of the library. Over time, they're going to color code and annotate what areas of the library they use the most each time they go into the library, what resources are used, and then that way it gives us insight into student library ownership and also gives us insight into what areas of the library may need to be further developed for next year when we continue this program. Data capture number 3, we want to look at our RLA STAR growth data. The reason we want to look at this is we want to compare and look for growth. We want to look for trends and patterns. How did these GT students do on their STAR test last year, which does tie in with this research, communication skills, and we want to see how does it compare to this year after being in this program for a year. Based on that, that will shift us towards refinements for the following year to strengthen this program. So next, what does the research have to say about GT students, learning, projects, and the library? Well, the first article we looked at was called Gifted and Talented Programs Don't Cause School Segregation. This was by Thompson, 2023. A brief summary. Here, Thompson analyzed national data to see if gifted programs increase school segregation. While these programs enroll more white and Asian students, they found that overall impact on segregation was super small. The findings suggest concerns about segregation should not be the main reason to cut gifted programs. So, how does that tie into our year-long program? Well, this article, it helps to address the equity concerns. It shows us that this is a valid subset of group to work with that should not be ignored. It validates the need for GT students to have specialized learning spaces, and it also supports inclusive innovation efforts. Taking a look at research article number 2, entitled The Effect of Bibliotherapy Method on Social and Emotional Learning Skills in Gifted Children by Tekel and Akul in 2024. This study looked at how bibliotherapy affects gifted students' self-concept and emotional growth. Reading and discussing carefully chosen books helps students better understand their emotions and feel more confident. So that's something we're looking at in our program. GT students and building their confidence. These findings showed that literature can be a powerful way to support the social and emotional needs of gifted learners. So the key takeaways that validate what we're attempting to do is gifted students grow through meaningful literature-based experiences, which our program offers. Libraries support both academic and emotional development. And again, here through this program, we're trying to build their confidence. And next, books can inspire confidence, curiosity, and deeper thinking, something our program aims to do. Last research article number 3 was entitled The Role of Faculty Members in the Development of Leadership Abilities. This was by Al Ali and Abu Nassar in 2021. This article looked at how teachers support gifted students by recognizing their needs and encouraging growth through challenging work, something our program is attempting to do, aims to do. It shows that when educators are actively involved, gifted students become more motivated and confident. The finding support giving gifted learners opportunities outside of the classroom, like the school library. So, our key takeaways are that this article highlights the librarian's role in supporting gifted learners. Also, this supports the need for personalized, challenging experiences, which we hope to offer. And it shows that gifted students benefit from the support beyond the classroom. Here are our references for our 3 research articles, plus our article that helped us identify gifted students as our subset. And lastly, thank you for your time. We know your time is limited and precious, and we thank you for consideration of this program.